Action.
All right, guys. What's up? We're back at it again with another podcast. Uh, Back with Normal Gets You Nowhere and Passive with a Purpose podcast and Chats with Chance, episode 7 now. All right, got my
7.
got my daddy O back at it again here as my guest today. We're gonna do some more, and we're gonna have a lot more coming up for you guys. So y'all stay tuned. The first one will finally get dropped either tonight or tomorrow. Sorry for the delay on it. It's just been taking a little while to get it uploaded there, but so we're just gonna kind of dive in. We've got a he put it to me here. He come up with a few pages of ideas for you guys. So we're only going to cover just a few today in this little short one. We're going to try to only make this one about 30 or so minutes or less.
Don't you believe it?
The last one was almost right at an hour. So I mean, eventually I want to get up to that point, but I'm going to try to just shut up more tonight and let the man of wisdom here speak the most. He's like, who's that?
Somebody else in here.
Right. And excuse the background noise. The neighbors mowing the yard over there and live in this little cheap, little house, starter house right now. So don't have nothing big and fancy with no soundproof walls or nothing. So maybe you can be able to hear us okay, or the audio will still be okay with him mowing and weed eating in the background. But yeah, we'll just kind of jump right into it there on that first topic. What you want to get started on or talk about there?
You the man. You.
Alright.
We're gonna start with the one you marked.
Yeah.
Does art need to have meaning behind it?
Mm-hmm. All right. Does art need to have meaning behind it? Hmm. Well, I honestly feel like and think that it should, and I know it does. I know a lot of art does have meaning behind it, and I feel like some art don't have meaning behind it. So I feel like it's kind of half and half. Some artists create art with meaning, and then some artists have the intention to create art without meaning, and so are just kind of doing it just to do something, just to for that purpose or whatever. So does it need to have meaning behind it? Um, I honestly just feel like I'll kind of this is how we'll go with this today or whatever. I guess I'll kind of give my take first, and then I'll just shut up and let the man of wisdom there again uh, take over. But I feel like art is kind of one of those just rich man commodities, anyways, to begin with. So I feel like that. Oh, go ahead.
Let me say this: art can be a poem that somebody wrote, a
Oh
drawing,
yeah,
any type of created thing can be
yeah,
seen as art. I just wanted
yeah,
to say that.
yeah. That's right.
A
Yeah,
poet is an artist, a
yeah,
painter is an artist,
yeah.
whatever. There's a lot of different. A musician is an artist. So
Oh yeah, yeah, that's
that's the
true.
way when I wrote the question down, that's what I had in mind as art. I didn't mean a big Picasso in a
Okay.
museum somewhere. I just meant
Yeah.
creative art created
Okay.
by anybody.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah, yeah, that does touch on it because I get that for sure. I mean, like writers and artists and stuff from Yellow Wolf and all that and everything. They claim to be artists and stuff. So yeah, I know what you mean now. Or that helps out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So does art need to have meaning behind it? Yeah, yeah. In that case, if you're talking about just a broad spectrum of an artist or whatever that creates different stuff, if you're not talking about the painting of like a Picasso or something, then yeah, I believe you should have meaning behind what you do with your creation. I don't believe you should just be out here foolishly wasting time or not have some sort of purpose or meaning or not have some sort of audience group that you're trying to reach to or promote some kind of message. Like I don't believe you should just waste your time and sit around and say, well, I'm gonna just do something. So I just created this silly little fake thing or fake song or whatever to throw out here just to keep these people mad at each other and make people get in arguments and hate around all day. And then I sat back behind closed doors and laugh at them arguing over the song that I created that was designed just for my fairy tale or for me to be a laughing stock so I can laugh at them or something like that. So like I feel like yeah, it should have let's see, does art need to have meaning? I feel like yeah, it should, in my opinion, need to have meaning. Like yeah, I don't believe and just wasting time on this earth, like not doing something positively and beneficial in some form or fashion. So if you create something, I feel like you should have, it don't really matter what the intention is behind it, but I feel like you should have motive and intention of for what you're doing and creating.
All righty then. No, I'm kind of the same. I don't necessarily think art needs to have meaning. But yet everything has meaning one way or another. Even if the artist doesn't intend it to have a meaning, if he created it just to, like you said, get some group riled up at the other, or just to make money because it sounded poppy and nice. And in the case of a song, for example, then even though he didn't may have not meant it that way, that you know it had meaning. It was done for some purpose, so therefore it had meaning. I think everything has meaning, but the thing about, I don't think that a meaning can necessarily be defined. What the artist may have originally created his art for, what it meant to him, it may mean something totally different to me. Little old poems and stuff that I used to write, like for kind of just for therapy, more or less. Well, what they meant to me when I was writing them, if somebody else were to read it, it might mean something totally, just like a song. You can have the same song, and 10 different people think of 10 different things when they hear it. So, I mean, I don't necessarily think it needs to have a meaning. I mean, you can create art, whether it be a song, a painting, a poem, or whatever, just because you decided, well, I'm going to draw this thing, and it didn't really have. I mean, like I said, everything's got me. That meant something, just the fact that you wanted to draw it, but you could have created it just simply for the reason of wanting to make money off of it, or just wanting to waste time. Like I said, I'm just going to waste time and write down this little this or that. But but it will mean something to somebody somewhere, probably, and it'll mean something different to another person. So it's not the that question. I got it off of a website out there, and I don't think it was meant to be, but it's kind of, I guess the wording may not be exactly right. I mean, just strictly reading the question, no, I don't think art does need to have meaning. And by that I mean when the artist creates it, I don't think he needed to have some certain meaning behind it to make it resonate with certain people or something. It's either going to, or it's not with certain people. Anyway, people are going to assign their own meaning to something. I think it doesn't necessarily need to have a specific meaning, I guess is what I'm trying to say, because it's going to mean something different to different people, and it may mean something different to the same person on a different day, or whatever, depending on where that person's at in their head at the time.
I agree with that. That's very smart, intelligent take on it because
Astute. Astute.
Yes, astute.
What's astute?
Smarticles.
oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. I'm just
smarticles.
throwing a big. Yeah, that was an astute observation, wasn't it?
Yes, that was a very astute observation, and but yeah, I agree with that. I like that take on it. I like that a lot, and that's very smart or astute because
Yeah.
because Bible verses is the same way. Like a lot of people can take different meaning out of that, and it's hard. That's one of the hardest things that I've learned is like figuring out from churches and preachers and stuff and everything is figuring out how to break down the verses and figure out exactly like what context they're in and who they're referencing them to and all that. So that was a very good take. I appreciate that for sure. That's awesome.
Well, thank you.
hmm So let's see. Now we're going to kind of move into some technology and AI realm again
Yeah, a
here.
little different.
Yeah,
Go from one end of the spectrum to
yeah,
the other, kind of.
yeah. That's okay.
But we're gonna stay on this end for a little while.
Yeah. So what you got for us next there?
Does technology make us less intelligent?
Mm.
Does technology make us less intelligent? Mm. That's a good one. And we could go deep on that for sure. Um, yeah, I definitely feel like just I like to take the topics just from the top level and then just start kind of dissecting into it. So just base level, when I hear that, does technology make us less intelligent? Yeah, I would say technology can definitely make us less intelligent because people just over the like it's. I feel like it's one of those type situations you could compare it to like a frog sitting in boiling water, or whatever. Uh, the frog, like you put a
Slowly
yeah, yeah,
raising the
yeah,
temperature.
yeah, yeah. You put a frog down in a cold pot of water up on a stove, and then you just slowly start kind of turning the heat up and adding heat to it, and he never really notices much of a change because it's just slowly, gradually coming on to him, and then all of a sudden he realizes like, whoa, I'm hot, I'm burning up, and then tries to hop out. So yeah, I feel like that's kind of where that would take it. Does technology make us less intelligent? Yeah, I feel like in the short term, 90% of people are gonna be all ignorant and hard headed and be like, "Oh, go ahead."
No, you keep
Oh,
talking. I just want to know the last time you boiled a poor frog.
oh, no frogs were injured in the making of these
Okay.
videos or this channel or the history of it. I haven't ever boiled a frog. I have stepped on a few on some playgrounds
Yes,
growing
I
up and
remember
stuff, and
that.
I have killed a few, but frog gigging and hunting and stuff. But yeah, that's pretty good.
Sorry,
Oh
I had to
no,
jump in there
no.
and say that, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, that's pretty good. But yeah, I feel like that's pretty much my take on it. Is I feel like everybody, 90% of people are ignorant, and they'll tell you right off the rip, no, no, man, this phone has helped me out. Technology in general has been such an advancement for human technology, and I feel like it breaks down to like a individual standpoint and a business standpoint. Like if you're owner of a big business or something, yeah, I feel like there's a little bit of truth to that. Some of your technology could have helped you. Well, I think a lot of business owners will tell you that the technology has helped them improve in business and grow in business and make more money, but not making you more intelligent. Like if you asked them more of on a intellectual or just individual level of like, hey, how has this helped your thinking process or your mind grow and develop? I feel like they'll probably be like, well, I knew most of this stuff because I'm the one that implemented it, so therefore it was already in my head, so I knew what I needed to do with it to grow from it or whatever. So I just kind of implemented more technology in with it to grow and expand my business. So I feel like originally it first came from the human brain and the thinking process of it. So I feel like, yeah, I don't feel like it makes you, yeah, no, no, like I said, I think just individually, people are just kind of ignorant to that or ignorant and, they'll just say that it does when in reality or when in reality when in reality, I don't. I think it's just the truth of it is it's just a distraction. Like if you want to talk about it on a phone level, we get buried into these phones and stuff, and then next thing you know, we're walking around like this, just face buried. You're trying to have conversations with people, and they just do like and then they won't even get out of the phone a lot of days. And I've been guilty of it too. I mean, but. So yeah, I think it's just more of a slow progressional type of decline in human society that's going to keep kind of actually making us more distracted is the better word for it, more so than just straight up dumb, but it's just going to keep us more distracted and more out of it, and then the world is going to technologically advance around us, and then before we even know it, we're going to look up from our phones one day and be like, what world are we in right now? I mean, it's just gonna the world don't wait on nobody. It will keep technologically advancing and just surpass a man and leave him behind.
Astute point. Uh,
Thank you.
yeah, I agree. I think it makes us more or can make us more distracted, but I don't think it makes us less intelligent necessarily because, like you said, people still had that idea. Even though in business, for example, like you said, certain technologies can make a person's business quicker, easier, smoother to run, but he thought of that plan for the technology to implement. He bought the technology or whatever with the intent of implementing a plan that he thought of or she thought of using their intelligence. I mean, it makes us lazier, I think, because
Mhm.
technology, especially the way it's advancing, can do a lot of things for us. And I guess I can see where it could be a slippery slope for if you get too lazy and too what was that word you distracted, yeah,
Yeah.
and too distracted, where you're not really concerned with paying attention or learning. You've got your nose in the cell phone, like you said, and you got machines to do most everything anyway. Then you become lazier and more distracted. And I can see where maybe it's kind of like you said, over a period of time, humans may become less intelligent as the machines get more advanced and more intelligent or whatever. But at least right now, I think it doesn't make you less intelligent. To me, it probably makes you a little, in to some extent at least, or in some things, it might make you a little less motivated. At
Yeah.
least, you don't have
Yeah.
to do it if you've got this machine to do it. But
Mhm.
but yet you thought of this thing for that machine to do, or bought that
Yeah.
machine with the purpose of doing this or that. So it does make you less motivated, which eventually I guess could make us less intelligent
Mhm. Definitely. Definitely
if we
so.
don't get a nip it in the bud, Ange. Nip it in the
Yep.
bud, as Barney Fife
Yep.
would say. If we don't nip it in the bud.
Yep. Yep.
I believe Phil Robertson said the same thing too. He would always talk about nip
Nip
it.
it in the bud.
Yeah.
Yeah, nip it,
Yep.
Ange. Nip it.
Yep. But good deal. Good deal. And there we
Are
go.
we on to the next?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if that's all
Got
you
to
got
get
to
my
say on it
eyeballs.
and
Yeah,
everything,
well, because if we get
Yeah.
wound up too much, we'll have a 3 hour
Right.
podcast.
yeah.
This is kind of related to the last question,
Mhm.
real related. Have cell phones improved people's lives?
All right.
All right. So yeah, here we go. That follows just right in behind it here is as Phil Robertson always called it, the black box. and
Yeah.
so yeah, he said I don't even own a cell phone. It's just a black box. And so I like that take of him on that and everything. And I'll be
Well, you
honest,
can't beat a flip phone 18.0.
that's what I was gonna say,
That's
you
it
guys.
right there.
Yep. Yep, that's the
Speaking of
move.
which, I better put it on vibrate.
Yeah, there you go. But that's what I was gonna say. That's the move, you guys, right there. Because I'll be honest, like I'm to the age now and everything to where if I just didn't have a few things that I need to check or whatever online as far as like some of my financial future goals and stuff like that, if I didn't have a few things that I needed to just have access from my phone throughout the day, and I guess I should really sit down and reevaluate that and really decide in the next year or two if I really need my phone for that because I can actually access it and do everything I need to do from this laptop right here and this computer. So there really ain't no excuse when you get down to the root of the matter why I couldn't have a flip phone again. And I've very seriously thought about it in the last year or so. But yeah, so just the basic question there and everything of the have cell phones improve people's lives? No, honestly, on a deep down level, I say no because if you look at humanity and look at people the way they were like when I was a kid and stuff, we experienced life on this linear model through just time goes on and everything, and so if you look all the way back and then it gets stored in our brains as memories. And so the only thing we could have in relation to this linear line previous, like yesterday, day before that, whatever, it's just memories I stored in our head. So and then maybe a little bit of physical evidence of something that might have happened in the past or whatever that we perceive through our mind. So into this world that we know it. So long story short, if you look back, like 80s, the 1980s, the 1990s, 2000s, if you look back at those people, then I found a YouTube channel the other day that a guy put out videos from the 80s and stuff where he had like one of the earliest video cameras there was, and he posted videos of his friends and stuff, and they were all like
I've seen
everybody.
some of
Yeah,
those.
everybody he came in contact with was almost like what is that, or like what are you doing, or something like that, or this is just everyday life. These are just usually brought out for main events like parties and things like that or celebrations. And it's like, what are you doing just walking around with this camera thing on me or whatever all day and all that? And he was taking videos and you could just see in people, man, like you could just see like what a different generation it was, like how much happier people were and just how much simpler things were and all that. And so it's just real nostalgic for people like that's in the next generation up from me and stuff to see that, because even the generation up from me or one generation back from me were kids during that time, and then the one generation back from that, like my daddy, that's not so young man so more. But
that growing up in the 80s, high school years in the 80s and stuff was just like, if it's the same guy I've seen, that looked like mostly high school kids that were his buddies in
Yeah.
those videos. And that reminded me so much of, I mean, that was pretty accurate about how we were in high school too, you
Yeah.
know. Go ahead though,
oh
I didn't
yeah,
mean to
oh no,
interrupt. I
that's
was just
fine.
thinking.
Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, so no, it has not improved anybody's life. Like, if they say it has, then they're probably just lying to you, or they're just ignorant to the fact of like they're trying to push something, or they've got some kind of money invested in technology. Because if you ask anybody on an intellectual level or talk to somebody, just have a normal conversation, just like they did back in the 80s and the 90s with people, and had a normal conversation with somebody, and that's going to kind of foreshadow and lead up to one of our next topics. Um, but yeah, I just feel like no, it has not improved it at all. It ain't done nothing but just caused more distraction and more disconnect. That's the word for it. The more disconnect of society, and now it's getting to the point to where we don't even you can just see in people that that's a piece of that life has been just sucked out of them somehow, and they don't have the qualities that they had back 20, 30 years ago and all that. So and just the genuine family time and fellowship and stuff. I mean, we've lost a lot of that. We've there's not people wanting to go out and just hang out anymore and do events like and you can get 50 to 60% of your family and friends out to these events and stuff, and to still to like, hey, like I could go up to my buddy and say, hey Jim, we're gonna have a cookout this weekend. Come over and let's play some cornhole and stuff, and let's get back to living like the 80s and 90s, and let's just get out here and do some donuts in our trucks, ride four wheelers, just have a cookout, play some cornhole, sit down on the swing and talk to your neighbor, talk to your friend, and all this and that and everything. And odds are you can get 5, 10, 15 of your friends to show up or whatever, and family, like that's family and
You
friends
got
combined.
15 friends?
No,
Oh,
no, that's what I was going to say. I really don't, but including family and friends. Let's say you got a big family, you get 15 people showed up out there, and I can just tell you and test me on this, and come back to this video later when you see it. But but test me when I said this and mark it down. There you go. That's what I was going to say. Within about the first probably 2 hours or so, maybe not even that long, maybe within the first hour you're at that event,
20
you going,
minutes
yeah,
tops.
yeah, 20 minutes tops.
Yeah.
All right, that's probably more accurate. But you're gonna have people just, it don't matter if it's any kind of phone really, just their little Sperry BlackBerry from 2005, or their new 2016 iPhone from or whatever, they're gonna be out there. They're going to be on it like that, and the next thing you know, they're going to be disconnected, distracted, watching a video of something doing the same thing that they're doing there, just somewhere else or something like that. It seems like. So yeah, just overall, no, it's a decline. I mean, we're just getting less and less, just less and less in the moment, in the present, enjoying the what's left of this real world as we know it. What was supposed to be created, supposed to be, and this is kind of getting deep before sin come in and messed everything up and all that in this world, but getting back to what the true purpose of the earth and this land was designed to be, to enjoy the elements, like get outside, get out in nature, and enjoy this world and creation that we have, like to enjoy hearing the streams run down from the mountain, to and get out and enjoy your youth and run through the woods and get to experience your physical body and how good it feels to exercise and reward it and everything. So and eat good clean meals, like eat a good deer and elk and stuff. I mean, it just when you eat some kind of wild game like that, it's just like, and some of y'all may can relate to this and comment if you can. But sometimes if you like wild game and the taste of it and stuff, when you eat like a deer burger,
Okay. Pizza Hut called. Your order's ready.
Okay, thank you. We'll cut the cameras in a minute. I'm starving. I can't wait to get that pizza in me. But but if you eat if you eat something wild game, like let's say a deer, like a deer burger or some deer sausage or something, it's like your body will naturally know that, like, hey, like I like this right here. Like if you like it, you got to find some kind of wild game meat that you can acquire or like in some way. But your body's going to know immediately as soon as you get it in you that was kind of the natural design, meat that it likes, and it's going to give you that full nourishment and nutrition that your body really, has been longing for and all that. So yeah, that's all I got on
Ditto. Mine's a big no. It has not improved our lives at all. That was pretty. It ain't as deep and as many angles quite as those other quiz. This is just pretty much a no.
Mm-hmm.
Cell phones ain't done
Yeah.
nothing to improve our lives. I mean, I say that maybe they've made it a little easier to stay in contact with each other and stuff like that, but they have, for the most part, it's just like we touched on a little bit on the previous question. They're a distraction more than anything. They're you might can point to a few things if you're out and had an emergency, and that's basically one reason I got a cell phone. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I will text and talk on it, of course, but I don't like to. It's why I don't have a smartphone. I don't want to do none of that stuff that you can do on a smartphone. I'll get on my
Mm-hmm.
computer and do it. I can't see good enough to do it anyway on them little screens on a smartphone. But I mean, the only, to me, the only way it might could have improved our lives, and I don't know any stats on it, but would be to, if we were out somewhere and had an emergency, we'd have a phone right there and could
Yeah.
call for help. But
Let
other
me
than
just
that,
pull up some stats on that real
yeah,
quick.
go ahead. Yeah, Jamie, pull up the
Yeah,
stats
yeah,
on
yeah,
that, please. Yeah,
Jamie.
uh, but yeah, mine's a big resounding no for sure on that one. They have not improved our lives in the least. They've done the opposite of anything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. I agree. Let's
What comes
see.
after
So
three? Four?
yeah.
All right. We
So
staying
yeah,
on
yeah.
related topics here now.
Yeah.
All right. Is is social media making us less social?
Yes. Yes.
Ditto.
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 Yes. Yes. Social media
They
is
say it as
making.
they're on social media making videos.
Yes. Yes. Social media. Man, by the end of this topic, Daddy might stop supporting me on my podcast.
You whippersnappers of today.
But yeah, so is social media making us
Go
less
back and look at that
social?
video of the 80s, Sonny. That's what you need. We need to be making this video on the riverbank.
Yes,
That way we
yes.
combine both worlds.
That's right. But
Go
yep.
ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right. Is social media making us less social? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So yeah, I mean, I feel like I kind of went into that actually a little bit ago, so I'm not even going to give that much of a big long spill on this one at all.
Don't you believe it?
You ain't right.
Sorry, I had to say it. We gotta liven
No.
this thing up.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, that's it. Gotta have some smiles and comedy in there. Get back to the 80s way.
Levity.
Yes. Levity. What's that?
Lightheartedness.
Oh yeah. Lightheartedness. Hardy har. Ha ha. But yeah, gotta smile and have fun, guys. But enjoying this Sunday fellowship day. Get outside today and get you some sunshine. And so, unless it's raining where you're
They
at.
said from inside the house making the video.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry, guys. I still got to do my mile running a little bit. I'm fixing to get outside in nature and enjoy it today. But but yeah. So like I say, yeah, I got me off topic. But I'm not gonna go into nothing too deep
Would
on
you like
this.
me to reread the
No.
question?
I got it. It's down pat. But
Well,
yeah,
make sure I remember.
yeah,
Okay.
it's definitely making us less social. And so, like, kind of like you just touched on there about the cell phones, making it easier just to call somebody up. The bad thing about it is being less social, or making it make you less social is like transactions, anything like business wise, like when you do business with somebody. We're to the point these days where I can go out and cut old John Doe's yard next door, and he don't even, let's say he wasn't there or whatever when I went to cut the yard, and he trusts me enough to do a good job, or let's just say he's a good client that don't require he's not a high maintenance client. He just wants his yard cut. As long as it looks halfway decent, he's happy, and he's not even there when I show up. Sorry, I was making sure my mic was still on.
Is this thing on?
Yeah, I cut it off at the end of the last one. I had to cut the video by like 2 or 3 minutes. I
Yeah.
accidentally cut the microphone
Yeah,
off at
way
the
to
end.
go, Grace.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it. So, but yeah, let's just say I go over there, cut Jimbo's yard. He's not there, and then he pays me. He's like, "Hey, I can pay you on Cash App. You know, you don't even have to be there." So then I come back home, bam, boop, boop, there comes my money in, and it just defeats the purpose of like him being out there, seeing me, making eye contact and smiling in front of each other and saying, "Hey, man, I'm really appreciative of the job you just done. I appreciate you taking time away from your wife and kids today, coming out here to help your loving thy neighbor and helping him out and taking care, of me and just helping me out doing this favor. I got in a bind. I've been busy this week and just hadn't had time to cut it, but I could afford to pay you to come over here and kind of just help a neighbor out and get me out of this bind, get me caught back up because I was busy this week." So yeah, it makes our social interactions decline and is causing more of a bigger distraction in our social life, and then that kind of in my opinion, I'm not going to go too deep in it, but that's going to derive us or point us in more of the direction of letting the Antichrist get to us and win in the long term, because it's desocializing us and it's getting us further away from our humanly or uh, our true meaning of life or whatever, in my opinion. So like our true destiny and the meaning of life of where we've got to get and
Our
where our
spiritual
yeah,
destiny.
yeah, our spiritual destiny. So yeah, social media is definitely coming in the way and interrupting of our spiritual destiny in one way, shape, form, or fashion, of getting it to where we can do almost anything these days without even having to get outside our house or home and make make contact with people and all that. And because it's the old fashioned eye to eye, shake a man's hand, smiling and laughing and having fellowship with each other, that's gonna get us all back, good spirited and good hearted, and make us want to come back around and stay in good faith and everything. So that's pretty much all I got on that. So yeah, it's definitely making us less social all the way around.
That brought up another question for another podcast.
Okay.
Do you believe in fate or destiny? I mean, like I said, we won't do that. No,
Yeah.
that just made me. Is there a such thing as destiny or
Yeah.
fate? But
Yeah.
anyway, on the
Yeah.
question, social media has definitely made us less social in person anyway, depending on how you define social.
Uh,
If you include online, then maybe it has made us more social. People do
yeah.
interact more online together, but we've lost that, like you were saying, that personal touch, the ability to sit here like me and you and Frankie, for example, when we
Mhm.
get together, we just sit and just talk face to face. We ain't got our cell phones out being
Mhm.
distracted. We're not on Facebook. We're not on whatever looking around, just talking face to face. Social media has definitely made us less social in
Mhm.
that aspect. Just on a personal level, one of the good things, because everything has good points and bad points. One of the good
Right.
things about it, it does allow you, kind of like I was talking about the cell phones, if you have an emergency. Well, with social media, I can, me being the old man like you were talking about a while ago, I can sort of stay in a little bit of contact with people maybe that I graduated high school or something with, but they've moved away or whatever, and
Mhm.
I'm not in close physical contact with them. We can still stay in touch on social media.
Yeah.
So it's not that I mean, I'm not sitting here screaming it's going to be the end of the world or
Right.
whatever, because it's like everything, it has some good points, but it definitely has not made us more social. And you got all
Mhm.
these people, I know a lot of them are robots, they call it, or algorithms, whatever, it's sitting there, just posting stuff to be trolling,
Yeah.
like they say,
Yeah.
posting stuff to get somebody stirred up or be controversial. I know there's a lot of that goes on, and a lot of it ain't real people, but the it has gotten real people on there too to like I said, we're less social. If anything, you can sit behind your keyboard and just be completely rude to people,
Yeah.
especially on politics. That's why I hate
Mhm.
politics, left and right.
Yeah.
Both of them are just a bunch of crybaby. The
Mhm.
extremes on both sides are nothing but crybabies. They hate the other side.
Uh-huh.
Even my clock, it don't works right twice a
Yeah.
day. But
Yeah.
nothing the other side does is right, and you can
Mhm.
sit there behind your keyboard on Facebook and be all
Yep.
holier than thou, self-righteous, our ways,
Mhm.
Republicans this, Democrats that, they're both equally
Yep.
to blame. It's made us less social and less human. I
Mhm.
mean, we treat people like they ain't even
Yeah.
people when we're sitting behind that keyboard talking about people. Anyway, I don't want to get wound up on that, but no, it has not made us more social. It has made us less social and less kind too. And at
Mhm.
least in online, in that online world, a lot of people post all that garbage online. They wouldn't necessarily say that to that person if we were sitting
Right.
here face to face like me
Exactly.
and you, but
Mhm.
they feel emboldened or something hiding behind that
Yeah.
screen and typing.
Mhm.
It's people. I don't know. Nope, it
Exactly.
ain't made us more social.
Yep. Oh yeah, exactly. That's a good point. As soon as this cuts, you got to get out of here, dirtbag. You got to leave. But yeah, I like that.
Oh,
Um,
I flipped our
but
page
oh,
over
that's
there.
okay. I was gonna flip it back over real
Oh,
quick. But
okay.
yeah, I was just gonna touch on that topic real quick.
Oh
Do
boy.
you believe in? Oh,
Don't you believe it on the 20-minute podcast?
well, no, we're 36 minutes in. I'm fixing to cut it at around 40. But I was
We
just gonna.
still, we were just on number 4. We still got 5 and
Yeah.
6 if we do them all today.
Yeah, nah, we'll start to get ready to cut it. But I was just gonna touch real quick on this and just it
Oh,
says,
I
do
got
you
feelings
believe
on that one.
yeah, do you believe in fate and destiny? Well, yeah, I'm not gonna go into it. I just wanted to read it off for the people out there so that way they could be kind of
Y'all be thinking
pondering. Y'all
about
be
it.
thinking of that one and like I say, this next one we're gonna kind of get into it and go into a bunch of kind of spiritual deep belief
We
stuff.
need
And
to have
so
a
oh
spiritual
yeah,
podcast just
definitely.
about
Yeah.
topics, to
Yeah.
do with religion or spirituality or
Mhm.
something like that. That would be
Yeah.
deep.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I know Daddy, and I know he enjoys stuff like that, so that would be good. And yeah, so that'll work. We'll do that, guys. But yeah, y'all be thinking about that one for the next one, and we're fixing to close this one out for the day. But do you believe in fate and destiny? And I believe that I do. And which I mean,
I
because
believe
there are
we
those.
may have a good debate then,
Yeah. Okay. All
because I'm
right.
not sure that I do.
Oh, okay.
So we may have a good
Okay.
debate on that. That's a
Yeah,
good
that'll
thing.
be good. Yeah,
But we
because
still love each other and be
exactly.
father and son. That you ain't
Yes,
got to hate somebody if you disagree with them on something. You
exactly.
can still both be
Amen.
good people.
Yep, amen. And that's what I'm trying to bring to this podcast and stuff. And because I'm really trying to be, professional about it and stuff. And Daddy's always raised me to be a good hard worker, and he showed me the way to be, conduct myself as a professional and or just a trying to be a fine, upstanding being over the years. So like when he's going to like a job or going to work and stuff, he goes out of his way to get dressed up and stuff to work at a job like in the past and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like when you
Well,
work for
one job
tractors.
I did,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, like
one
he
or two
when he's
maybe
been
when I had to.
banking and when he been in the tractor business and stuff. So like in other words, I'm just saying you've
Don't get nobody the wrong impression though. I ain't no 3-piece suit man. By dressed up, you
right,
mean a
right.
shirt with a collar and
Yeah,
blue
that's what
jeans
I
without
mean. Yeah.
holes in them.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, what they call that? There's a word for it, like casual,
casual.
business
Yeah,
casual or
yeah,
something like
business
that. So yeah,
casual. I guess.
he's just always taught
That's
me,
because they
to
gave me the uniform. If I'd have had to buy them, it would have been a different story.
right. But yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Yeah, he's just some old hippie that lives in a van down by the
Down
river.
by the river.
but but I'm just saying that he's definitely at least taught me to kind of conduct myself and try to be better than him in that aspect
And
and
do
teach
as
me
I
how to
say, not as I do.
yeah and teach me to be professional and all. So there's nothing wrong with just trying to act professional and stuff. So with that token or whatever
Hip
now.
hip cheerio.
Yeah. Now I've kind of lost the end point where I was trying to circle it back to, but
Destiny and fate. Yeah.
yeah. So so I've definitely been raised that way to try to be professional in certain things like that, and so yeah, I've got a big belief on the destiny and fate and all that. So and just in religion in general and all. And so yeah. So definitely it plays a big role in all that.
I know you're about to cut it,
Oh,
and
you're
we're just
good.
building up for the next episode when
Yeah.
we discuss this.
Yeah.
But let me tell you this: before this podcast started, you mentioned that you saw one on there about free will. Does free
Yeah.
will exist? And you
Yeah.
mentioned definitely. Okay, if free will exists, then how can there be? How can you be destined or fated to do something?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because
Yeah,
if
that's a
you
very
believe
good
in
point.
free will, then whatever, if you were supposed to be predestined to do something, your free will could change that. So,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. You
So,
know, I
anyway,
got
just
you.
a little something to think
Okay.
about if you do, because I happen to believe free will exists and I don't necessarily believe in fate and destiny. But
Okay.
you said you believed in free will for sure, but you also believe in fate or
Okay.
destiny. So, how
Yeah.
can you reconcile
I
those two?
okay, yeah, I got you. I feel like I could probably easily reconcile that, and I
Okay.
could probably use some Bible stuff to reconcile it the way, like just by some verses. I'd have to do my research and kind of figure it up and pull them up. But yeah.
But let me also
All
mention
right.
this, and y'all gonna think
Yeah.
I'm some kind of old hippie freak, you know, Bible hating, whatever.
Oh
But
no.
if there are some people out there who don't necessarily read or believe in it, but you can't use the Bible to justify the Bible. That's not, to justify what because if somebody
Right.
don't believe in the Bible, I mean, you've got to use facts or established anecdotes or whatever. You've got to use some kind of evidence besides biblical quotes to convince somebody who don't believe in the Bible.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's
If
true.
you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, I
Real
say that.
life, real life experience or something like that
Yeah.
that has truly happened to you and possibly other people or whatever. But a few. I'm trying to think of an example. And don't get me
Oh
wrong. I'm
yeah.
not. I'm just like I
Right,
said. I'm
right. Oh
I'm just
yeah.
saying as they say.
Yeah.
But if you say homosexuality is wrong because the Bible says it's wrong. Well,
Mhm.
what if that guy who's a homosexual, he don't believe that everything the Bible says is right, or he quotes another verse from the Bible that seems to contradict that?
Mhm.
Then you can't really use the judge not lest you be judged or whatever. You
Mhm.
can use certain passages from any religious text to justify
Mhm.
or to bash whatever you want to justify or bash.
Yeah.
But as far as debating and making some kind of point, I don't know. And this is just
Right.
me, and but the I don't know. I just don't think the Bible is a good way to prove something to someone who doesn't believe in the Bible. It would be like
Right.
if if I said I can prove fate or destiny exists by quoting you these scriptures from the Quran.
Uh-huh.
If you're not a Muslim,
Yeah.
that what it says in the Quran ain't gonna prove nothing to you. It
Mhm.
ain't gonna make you change your mind one
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah, exactly. There's a video by my good buddy Chad Wright on there that I think a lot of and stuff, and he done a video on that exact thing. It's so crazy because he done a video on that exact thing, and then that's exactly what he says. I can't remember if it was on. It was actually on Joe Rogan, I believe, in that video, in that 2 hour thing that they done. He actually says that. He says the Bible. He says I ain't trying to talk bad about it or bash it. He said but it's foolishness to man. He said it's foolishness. Like if you said that that this Almighty Creator sent His begotten Son to a cross to get crucified, to the whole story of it all just as a whole. He said it's foolishness to man, and it would be like a. He said it would be like a raccoon going in. You seen my post on Facebook the other day about that. He said it'd be like a raccoon going to sit down and see two plates there, and he sees one. He's naturally attracted from the day he was born into sin. He's naturally attracted to the plate and stuff, and so the plate with the garbage on it, and then if you got a plate with the steak beside it, he said so like you're and it goes
Yeah.
back to like you talked about, and I've been meaning to talk to you about that too and everything. Me and Daddy, we see each other, we try to see each other every few days or so, but it may,
And
rock on
and
a
we
few weeks
talk
and all that.
about
And yeah,
every
we
day,
talk
really.
about every day and all that, but we don't really get to catch up and talk about a lot of things. But I've definitely learned a lot about that just in the last few weeks and a month or so, even. About that, and so, but yeah, he says in one of those videos, he talks about how, and like you've talked about, you got to have that change, happen inside of you and stuff, and like your whole
Right.
desires and like everything, the whole spiritual change, to to get accepted into the kingdom of God and everything. So, and then like you said, when you finally get to that point, people will realize it and see it and everything and all that. So, and I'm just kind of in the middle of it, I'd say right now. I've definitely learned and.
Right.
Oh, I appreciate that. I appreciate it. So I'm definitely getting there for sure. But yeah, and but like I said, that Chad guy talks about it, how it'll happen kind of all once you get to the very end of it, it'll kind of happen all at once and stuff, and it'll come on to you, and then it's like and that's how I believe. That's kind of how I believe. Like you was talking about how the free will, how I can believe in free will, but then believe in the fate and destiny too. Like we're just kind of looking at it from two different definitions. Like I say, once we actually dive into it and get to talking about it, that's where we'll kind of get differentiated from. But what
Good
I mean,
subject.
yeah, what I mean by the destiny and fate, like I believe in the free will because I believe we all have the choice to kind of not necessarily manifest our own destiny and all that, but I mean we have the free will because we can choose to, how our life goes. Like we can choose to serve the white wolf or the black wolf, as Cody Jinks says, and the country singer. So we can choose kind of who we want to serve or whatever, what we want to do in life in that aspect. I mean, we can't control outside things that happen or affect it. But long story short, uh, I got a lot kind of got all untwined from my original idea there. But how I can kind of believe in free will and believe in destiny, I've just kind of touched on the surface of the destiny being like I believe wholeheartedly that there's a plan for all of us. I believe wholeheartedly that there's a plan written that is already knowing in the mind of the creator, that there's already a knowingly plan of, hey, if you could just back up and take a step back and look at the bigger picture, here's where you're going to end up, or here is your plan. It's already been written down, but you can't see that. I mean, because you're having to be the living, factor of it, and you're not the creator, so therefore you're never going to see the plan. But I do have faith, because in the Bible it says we are saved through faith, and or uh, we're saved by grace through faith alone, and then not
Not by
yeah,
works.
not by works. And so just through the faith alone. So that's something that's been embedded in me ever since a child. I've always had that faith of believing in something greater and everything, because when you're a kid, I mean, you just think about it. You go outside and you just see the bright sunny day. You just see, we look at it's like we was a shorter distance coming from our creator. And so like we go outside and we see the bright sunny light, and we see all these beautiful life creations, like the bees going to the flowers, and the everything's just all bright, and it seems like we can see life brighter and stuff. And then the world of sin kind of dims our light throughout the years as we travel life through this linear path. And so like I say, we got our own choice, so we can choose to stay on that path or differentiate from that path. And I believe in some sorts of way we all have to kind of differentiate from that path, or I mean that ain't even a word, but feel like, yeah,
Diverge.
diverge. Yeah, I feel like we all have to just, like, in just basic words. I'm just trying to sound too intelligent there, we all have to fall off of that path. We all have to fall off the path, come face to face with the devil, because a rapper said it best one time, Young Jeezy. He said, if you come face to face with the devil, in at some point in your life, you can thank God because you're headed in the right direction. Because if you're running, if you ever come up and meet the devil in life and you feel like you're running the same way with him, and you never meet him face to face, then you're going in the
Better
same
look
direction.
out.
You better look out. So if you meet the devil at some point in your life, then you know that you're heading in the right direction, because he's headed the other way. And like the Bible says, the devil lives amongst us here on earth. And I'm not really sure, exactly fully how to interpretate that or whatever. But I mean, I do believe that evil spirits and evil presence and things are here in this world. And I do feel like, after just in the last month, from what little bit of research and stuff I've done, I feel like that they, from hearing Phil Robertson talk about it a lot, from what I've gathered from him and his whole Bible experience through his whole long life of being 60 or 70 or something. Uh, he um, uh, he believes that the first birth will get you on the earth, the second birth will take you off the earth, will let you leave the earth, and let you live forever. So the spirits that come in, that are born the first birth on, that gets you on the earth, the ones that follow the free will of the devil and don't ever get back on the good path, they die here for eternity. They live amongst us on the earth, and the devil is on the earth forever. And then because then there's a lot of Bible verses that talks about that, that says we're eventually, the God will come down and resurrect his people, or the souls, resurrect the souls with their bodies, and the bodies will come standing up out of the graves and stuff. And then that's when we'll join his team, like it's somewhere in Revelation, I think, where he says we'll join the team of it and fight the evil spirit and stuff, and finally put the devil to the resting place. And so I definitely feel like the devil is on this earth here with us. And so um but yeah, and like you said, just touching back on the what Chad talks about in the Bible about it, it's foolishness to man, because we're already, from the day we were born, we're already Phil likes to think that sin comes on. He thought that sin came on just in your teen years, because he said we all kind of pretty much grew up going to church with our families and stuff, like, or like, with your grandparents, with your parents and stuff when you're little. And he said but then you hit them teen years, and then you get to where you know better, and you're like, hey, I know I shouldn't be doing this, but I'm going to do it anyway. So he likes to think of it as like just coming on in the teen years. But me and Chad, we share the relation of thinking like we're just born into sin. Like, I'm not sure what the Bible says on that, but I think from the time we're born with this aging disease, with this like all kinds of diseases, that the only intent of the devil is to kill you. That's the only intent of the devil, is to kill you and to bring him to your side of the force, or to his side of the force, or whatever, to be able to fight. So I feel like from the day you're born, you're because man was created to live forever. So man was created in like in the temple, or like, our bodies are references in the Bible as a temple of the Holy Spirit. So I feel like Jesus, if sin had never got factored into the equation, I feel like Jesus would have lived for completely forever. He would have lived to the Bible standards of like 150, 180 years old, with like the big long gray beard and all that. But then for whatever reason, sin had to come into the equation, and had to interrupt that. And I don't want to, like, say, speak any kind of bad or nothing like that, that would kind of hurt my intention, because they say your tongue is the vessel, something about the vessel of the ship or something. So I don't want to like talk too much negative on it, but I'm just talking about my basic experiences and stuff. um but I feel like from the day we're born, we instantly start aging from that day forward down this linear path of life that we experience. We start
We're
aging.
born dying.
Yeah. We're born. Yeah, just in a sense, we're born dying from the. So I just feel like, and then I feel like what he says. What Phil Robertson says, the first birth will get you on the earth. The second rebirth and the regeneration, where your spirit changes and your desires change. With that, will get you off the earth. Will help you live eternity. Because like they say, when you die, your spirit goes straight up to the Creator with God. So I feel like I say, the first birth will get you on the earth. The second birth will get you to your spirit will separate, and that's where the Indian verse comes in, where they say it's like a where they say it's like a where they say their Creator written or had wrote the testimony on their heart. So it's like you pull this as like a cover, like a wool coat. You pull the physical body off, and then your spirit lies underneath that. So I feel like that's true. I mean, I feel like both of those stories intertwine together, and they correlate a lot together. The Indian one with the kind of basic one as we know it as humans, or I mean native or Caucasian white people or whatever, or African
Honkies.
American. Yeah, honkies
Crackers.
and all
Whatever you
that.
want to
Yeah,
call
yeah,
it.
crackers.
I miss the term honky.
Yeah,
Me and a buddy of
yeah.
mine that was black, I've told you about him a bunch of times. Me and old Demetrius, he used to always tell me that black is beautiful, white is funky. If you don't believe me, ask a honky.
Oh yeah,
But they
yeah.
don't nobody use the word honky no more, and I kind of
Mhm.
miss it.
Right. But yeah, I hope this helped somebody out there today or whatever. But I feel like what he was saying, um, Chad was talking about that. He said it's foolish to a man. He said the word of God is foolish to a man who is not who just can't really grasp and accept it, because he said we got the free choice to choose, but with that, there's just two more quick things I want to touch on. He said with that,
Won't you believe it?
I'm sorry, but with that, there's I'm never gonna become a full time podcaster for you guys, because I just put people to sleep when I start talking. I'm not
No,
good skilled with it,
you're
but
not putting me to sleep. I'm not bored. I
no,
just
I
got to
know.
aggravate you.
Oh, I
But
know, but nah, I'm just that's kind of always been one of my fears and flaws about it for sure. I'm trying to become a better speaker and all, but long story short, there's just two more quick little points I want to touch on. Chad talks about in that video. Um he says something about how it's just foolishness to man. You're not going to be able to get ready. It can't just like because you have free will and choice. It has to pretty much like you have to. Repetition, like tying your shoe, riding a bike. You have to hear it for so long. You have to hear it, hear it, and then when it's like a supply and demand, one of them goes up and then the other one has to come down, whatever. It's like gravity. You throw a ball up, what goes up must come down. If you look at it on a chart, let's say you had a chart and you're going out through there and you got your line going up. Well, okay, think about two airplanes in the sky or whatever. Two parallel lines. Two parallel lines are going to run side by side forever and never touch or whatever. And then you think about two airplanes coming through the sky like this, and and at what point do they intersect? So I feel like the Christian story and to be saved, you have to hear it. You're flying along beside this airplane, and then at some point in your fate and destiny, at the right time in your life, at whatever time it is, it could, some people it's 18, some people it's 25, some people it's 35, some people it's 55.
I got to be devil's advocate again.
All right.
What about those people who didn't get a chance to hear it, born at birth or
Yeah.
2 years old or whatever?
Yeah, that's true. Then that's one of those fine lines to where that makes a good point. But long story short, I'll wrap that up. If it has to intersect, like wherever your path and your faith and destiny in life intersects, it's where you'll finally get to the point, like you said, where you're ready. Just like anything else, you have to be
I see
openly
what you're
ready.
saying. Yeah,
Yeah, you have to be, and then
free
you,
will and
yeah, yeah,
destiny
yeah,
intersect
yeah,
at some
yeah,
point.
yeah,
Yeah,
and you could get to the point to where you could be like, well, I could have just accepted 2 years ago. Well, 2 years ago,
yeah.
why didn't you? Like, you know what I mean?
You
Like,
wasn't
why? Yeah,
ready.
yeah, you
Yeah,
wasn't ready. Like, why didn't you? So yeah, you have to. It's just like anything with the addicts and anything like that. You have to just be ready. And Chad talks about that in that video. He said, "There's nothing I can tell you." He said, "That's the sad part about it." He said, "All I can do is keep doing what my Creator tells me to do in the Bible, is to keep sharing the word, keep saying it and saying it and saying it." And he said, it's like throwing glue at the wall. One day it's bound to stick. Something's going to
yeah.
stick eventually,
I
and
agree.
so he said eventually you'll get to that point to where everybody's is different. Some people's 18, some people's 45, but you'll finally get to the point to where it'll just come on to you, and you'll get this feeling about yourself, and you can just undeniably know and just feel it in your heart and soul that it's it's just the Almighty and the Creator touching you and speaking to you. And then he said it'll just start changing lives. Then after that, he said, you'll just go home and pray that night or whatever, and then all of a sudden your desires will kind of change and enlighten a little bit, and then you'll start, you may whether it be watch some videos on some people talking about the word, or whether it be you open up the Bible and get in it yourself and start reading. But at some point after that, it'll just become like a hunger for you. Like you'll just want more of it, and then you'll just start naturally kind of getting into it and reading up on it, and then that can only lead you in one direction. That can, once you get to the point to where you accept it, and then you're over the biggest hill, you're over the hurdle then, because then all you got to do is follow through, and then it's like a natural desire. It comes to you naturally to where you just want more and more of it, and then it can only lead you in one positive, beneficial direction. But yeah, but
I know what you're saying.
yeah,
I can tell you're headed in that direction.
oh yeah,
I'm just like I said, kind of
Yeah,
playing
yeah,
devil's
yeah. Oh
advocate,
yeah,
throwing stuff out there that
yeah,
you'll hear
yeah.
thrown out there.
And I want, and the other point to that real quick that I wanted to close out with is the contradiction that you're talking about. He does that in a video too. He says that we see us, the foolishness to the man, talking about being where you're until you're ready, all that. Well, nobody can understand the true scriptures. There's actually
Yeah,
scriptures in there. There's actually scriptures in there that says that shows where God is talking straight to the people of whatever time it was and all that. And he says, and because they tried to trip him up, they tried to say, well, you contradicted yourself here and said this, but you have to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. So like until you've read the Bible from page 1 all the way until the end, and then not even only until then, because people have done that, but not only until then, and but until you can actually like put yourself in the position or perspective of the creator and know his intentions and know exactly what he meant by that,
yeah.
and that's
None
not
of us
humanly
can know that.
possible. That's what I was going to say. So there's no way that you can even say to and your point of, if somebody just don't ever get that fortunate and don't get to see that or whatever, then yeah, if they don't ever make it to that point or get to see that, then I feel like there's just some kind of something that we don't understand, some kind of exceptional rule. Because me and my wife was looking in the Bible the other day and it said something about and Phil Robertson said it in a video. He said, dear Lord, if you come back, if the second coming happens and Jesus comes back before a man dies, he says may you follow through with your word and heal them on the spot, or fix them on the spot. And see, right there, that's a contradiction. Because what is the point of even getting saved and going through all this work and stuff if all you got to do is just play the risk or play the game of life that like, or I mean, see, nobody
Yeah,
knows, but let's just say you was that person. Let's say you was that person, pulled out your iPhone and started filming, Jesus coming back, and then it says right there, Phil said, you'll heal us, you'll heal everybody still alive that was destined and meant to be in your kingdom, that you'll heal them on the spot. Well, see, that contradicts what a lot of people say. And so me and my wife, we're at that hurdle where we're trying to figure out and understand exactly what that means. And I can already make a prediction and kind of tell you what a preacher might tell us or something. He might say, kind of like what Granny I said the other day. Well, y'all are both right, or it says this here to say that you're right, and then it says here in this other chapter of this scripture that you're right. So everywhere throughout the Bible it contradicts
yeah.
itself, but that's because
Seems
yeah,
to at
yeah,
least.
seem yeah, 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 I'm sorry, yeah, seems to, because I don't personally believe that it does truly, because we don't know that. You got to understand the full picture of it and all that, and that's just more conviction and more to keep you hungry for it, and more story to keep you involved, and more like like of all these, keep you asking questions, to keep your brain firing off in its receptors, to keep you always longing for the truth and the answers. I mean, so it's all set up in a destiny and a fate and a plan to be designed like it is. Like my wife asked the other day, she said, why the cross? Like, why did he choose the cross, for all this and everything? And I mean, because we hear like the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, or the Holy Spirit, and everything like that. So I mean,
The crucifixion was just one of the methods of
mhm,
punishment and putting people to death back
yeah,
then. A
yeah,
lot of it you've got to kind of know about the time, because
mhm,
times back then, tradition, the way people did things was way
yeah,
different from what we do now. So a lot of
mhm,
things seem crazy to us now that at the time was
mhm,
normal. Just like
yeah,
somebody 2,000, 3,000 years from now will probably look at the way we
mhm,
lived and think, well, that's crazy. Why
yeah.
did they even?
Why did they
Yeah,
almost torture killing themselves burning that fire right there to cook that squirrel when
yeah,
they could just snap their finger and cook it in the
yeah,
microwave? Yeah, so
yeah,
I see what you're saying, but yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, so yeah, that pretty much kind of that gives you a sense or whatever, I guess, why I can kind of believe in free will, but then believe in the fate and eternity and destiny too, just because I believe we might be looking at two kind of different definitions of it. Like, I don't believe anybody's just destined to somewhere. I mean, I don't believe that, but I believe that that the plan's already written, and then we just gotta to live it out. And then so yeah, so I just I mean, pretty much that's what I mean about it.
I,
Or
in a way, I guess I sort of believe in destiny. I often wonder
Mhm.
why I couldn't have been born rich instead of so dang good looking, but I guess I was just destined to be this handsome devil.
Right. Oh yeah. That's it. Well, there you have it, folks. That's what you're probably gonna get out of this podcast from now on. Every time I say that it's gonna be shorter, I just mean it's gonna be longer.
Oh,
It's
you
in
believe
it's in
it?
we're at 1 hour and 6 right now, or about 1 hour and 5. So we're gonna cut it here, and I may end up dividing this one up into two. I don't know, but y'all stay tuned, guys, and we got a lot more good topics to come for
Peace
sure.
out.
We'll see y'all later. Catch you later. Y'all, oh, I didn't actually cut off, so that just gave me a
Oops.
chance to say. That just gave me a
As
chance
long
to
as you're
say.
still on here, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it just gave me a chance to say, y'all have a blessed rest of y'all's week, and stay safe, everybody. And as we enter in this new work week and stuff, just stay positive and stay working hard, and just stay about your ethics and stay representing what you believe in, because you got to stand for something in this life, because if you don't, you'll fall for anything.
Love your neighbor.
Yeah, love thy
Your
neighbor.
neighbor is
Yep.
everybody.
Amen. Amen.